Hello, my name is Kira. So for my teaching experience, I've been in classrooms before, classrooms and like tutoring style programs. I've never been the lead teacher in a classroom. I've always just kind of been there to assist and aid with students, same as like the tutoring programs. I had my own classroom per se, but it wasn't an actual classroom because it was like a paid tutoring essentially. Other than that, I'm just doing my clinical practice now. So I am currently in with three groups of 11th graders. So that's been pretty cool. And then what experience do I have teaching ELs? So prior to my clinical practice, not too much. I've always been in districts or school zones where like the population of English as like a second language learners was really small. And now with the school that I'm at, it's predominantly English as English language learners. And so I'm kind of getting my feet wet and experiencing that firsthand right now with the classes that I have. So that's been pretty interesting, seeing just how hard that they have to work to, one, translate what I'm saying and then think of their own answers and then try and translate it in their head to give it back to me, how like difficult that can be. And then when we let them type it out in their native language and then we translate it and read it, how much more nuanced their their ideas are, just because the language is limiting what they're able to share with us and what they're able to tell us. So that's been interesting to experience and figure out how to kind of maneuver that. And then what experience do I have learning a second language? Getting my degree, I was required to be fluent in a second language. I am not fluent in a second language, but I did do all the courses and I passed all the courses, but since college, I've definitely lost the skill. So I had to take 3 years on the quarter system of Spanish to be able to qualify for my English degree. So by the time I was done with those 3 years, I was writing like full 8 to 10 page essays in Spanish on like expansive topics. But I will say that it was, of the classes I took, any of my major classes, minor classes, this language courses were the hardest courses that I have ever taken, and it was the only courses that ever made me stressed going into school, because I knew that it was not something that I was on top of my game for. And if you called on me, the amount of time it was going to take me to realize what you said, process it in my head, and then come up with an answer with my limited vocabulary that didn't make me sound like I didn't know what I was talking about, just made me stressed. So I know that it is really difficult to learn a second language. And then even on that too, English has so many rules that we don't follow. So it's definitely a difficult second language to learn for someone, because we have more rules we have more exceptions to our language rules than we do for our actual language that follows the rules. So I know that it's really difficult to try and master a language where even the rules are